Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, and welcome to the review series of the franchise Saw.
Oh, yes. This is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with three other people. We got Jupiter Joel.
Hey guys, what's up? Jupiter Joel, alright.
Juggling Joey.
Hey, juggling. What's up?
And Cocky Katrina.
Oh, wow.
That starts with a C.
Yeah.
Whatever. Same sound. Okay.
I'm a whole planet's worth of awesome. That's cool.
There you go. You get a whole planet.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie we're about to review is the biggest movie so far I think we've done, at least that's brand new, and this is Spiral from 2021.
From the Book of Saw.
Yes, from the Book of Saw. The little subtitle.
There is a horror movie called Spiral, so you kind of have to.
That's true.
clarify.
That one sucks. So yeah, I think this was the first one to come out that was supposed to be out last year, at least the biggest one that I can think of. That I know when me and Joel did our anticipated movies back in the beginning of 2020, Spiral was on both of our lists.
It was definitely on.
So
we started our Saw series last year too.
Yeah.
In anticipation.
So anyways, Joel, who was in this?
So this one stars a couple of people that you guys might know. A guy named Chris Rock.
All right.
He was in the Longest Yard, Dogma, and Lethal Weapon 4.
Lethal
Along
Weapon
with other
4
stuff too.
was good.
Yes. Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson. He was in Snakes on a Plane, The Hitman's Bodyguard, and Kingsman Secret Service. Along with a bunch of other movies as well that I didn't mention here. And third is Max Minghella. He was the partner, and he was in The Social Network, The Internship, and 33 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah. This was written.
Network? What the hell?
Yeah.
You don't remember that? Anyway. I'll have to look that up again.
He probably had he may not have had a big part. I don't know. It's been years since I've seen that movie.
Sure. Yeah.
It was written by Josh Stolberg. He wrote Sorority Row, Good Luck Chuck, Jigsaw, and Piranha 3D. And Pete Goldfinger, who did Piranha 3D, Jigsaw, and Clown. And then directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. We have talked about this guy a couple of times before. He directed Saws 2 through 4, Haripo the Genetic Opera, and The Devil's Carnival.
All right. Clown.
So,
I don't think we've mentioned that one. Do you know what that is?
that is a horror movie where a guy dresses up as a clown for his son's birthday, and the clown suit takes over his body.
Oh.
And he becomes a killer clown.
Oh, wow. That sounds good. I think I'm going to have to check that out. All right, so Spiral. It's about a criminal mastermind unleashing a twisted form of justice. In Spiral, the terrifying new chapter from the Book of Saw. That's what I
Terrifying new chapter.
Tells me.
I'm pretty sure they all say that.
All right. So I think we'll have a good little discussion here on this one. From what I'm seeing online, a lot of people are kind of love it or hate it in this movie. So let's start with Katrina.
Okay.
What did you enjoy?
What did I enjoy?
What did you absolutely love about this movie?
Well, I would say my favorite part of the whole movie was I loved Chris Rock's humor added into it.
Okay.
I was hoping that would happen. And I loved the ending and how it all tied it all up.
Okay.
Um,
So let's.
Is that it?
Well, I mean, I liked a lot of it. I'm trying to think of my favorite parts.
Okay.
My favorite aspects of the movie was that the kills were they were hard to watch in a big screen theater.
Yeah.
I
they were.
noticed this is my first movie ever seeing in a theater. First Saw movie.
First movie, period.
First Saw
I'm new to the
movie
theater.
In over a year.
And
Yeah, this was the first for me in over a year.
yeah, it was like really hard to see those like Saw kills in a theater. Yeah.
So we're gonna stay away from spoilers.
I know. That's why I'm trying to be careful with what I liked.
Yeah, for now.
You want to have a spoiler section after
Yeah, we can talk
this?
about some of the more specifics later.
Okay.
Because there is some stuff to talk about. So,
Mhm.
so is that all?
That's what I'll leave it at for now.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay. Joey, your
Yes.
turn.
Yeah. I have a few things. I also do like the ending, and the very ending. Not like I like the last maybe
The last 2 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, I mean
The last
like
5 seconds.
no, probably like the last. I would say like 5 minutes of the movie. Not like the
Okay.
very like I'm talking about the very very end. And then the look of it was cool too. I liked like the city shots, and I just thought like it looked like really like crisp and like really. I don't know how to explain it. It looks like very professional looking, like just the camera shots and stuff of the city, kind of the sets and stuff. I thought they were pretty cool. And that's all I got for pros.
oh,
Yeah, nothing else.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Oh,
Nothing
man.
else, actually. I couldn't come up with anything.
This might be
I
a short
tried.
episode.
No, I have a few cons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You have more
I
cons than
do.
pros.
I do. Yep.
That section will probably be longer than our positives.
Maybe.
Okay. I'm gonna have more
Combined.
positives, I think. So you guys get ready. Joel,
I'm ready.
what do you like?
So, the kills were pretty cool in this one. They were kind of simple, yet effective.
Yeah,
There
definitely
were,
toned down from the like
They were.
elaborateness of the other movies.
yeah, and that's fine. That's not really what this movie was even about. So,
Yeah,
by like Saw 6, Saw 7, like that's what people were going to the theaters to see. Probably
Right.
even by Saw 4. But with this one, there was actually more to it than most of the other movies. This was almost in your face kind of social issues here. But I do like how it kind of went back to form with the original, how it was more of a detective story than anything.
yeah,
You haven't really seen that in a while. So I did appreciate that. And I liked Chris Rock's humor in it also, like Katrina was saying. There wasn't a whole lot in it as far as humor goes, but when there was, he was, it was effective as well.
yeah.
And and seeing Sam Jackson in there was pretty cool. I mean, you knew he was going to be in it from the previews, which I kind of wish they had left out because
Yeah.
I think even saying that we're getting another Saw movie would have been enough to get people in theaters. And that Chris Rock was attached to it.
Yeah.
That we could have, had that as a surprise that Sam Jackson was going to be in this movie. I also liked the ending, the reason behind everything, which went with the theme of the movie, which was the whole, police brutality type of thing. It kind of, or corruption in the police department. It did tie that up fairly nicely. And I love that they threw in the Saw theme in there at the end.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were going to, because this isn't technically a Saw movie. This is a Saw spinoff.
Right.
So I thought they're going to do something different. But I'm glad that, for what they did differently, they kept the theme song in there.
Yeah.
You got to have the theme song in there if you're going to have a Saw movie. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I liked the ending. I liked how I feel like this one did a better job than most of the other Saw movies with wrapping everything up at the end. I think that's like a big thing that a Saw movie has, or has to have, especially after the first two, is this ending that wraps everything up, and it kind of does like flashbacks to scenes from earlier in the movie that makes sense to the ending. And, you kind of go back and forth and you're like, oh, so there was this and that's why that happened. And, it kind of ties it all up. And I think Saw, the series, does a good job of that. And that's kind of almost half of what you're looking for is that ending twist. Or I wouldn't say this one was really a twist so much, but more of a, just like, oh, okay, now I get it kind of ending. So I really like that. I thought this one did a great job with that. I really like Chris Rock in it. I wasn't too sure what it would feel like to have him in a Saw movie. I was thinking it would be hard to take him seriously. But he did fine to me. I felt like there was some good character development. Like, you got to know his history. His humor was well placed. It wasn't like super obvious humor, I wouldn't say. It just was like conversation that he was having.
Yeah.
And it didn't take away from the suspense or anything. It wasn't like in the middle of a suspenseful scene he was cracking jokes,
Yeah.
It was
opened with a
well-placed.
Forrest Gump little
Yeah.
That was funny.
little speech.
Yeah, that was good. See, like,
That was a little tangent.
Yeah. And that, I felt like that was, perfect for a movie like this. Like, there's, a little bit of comic relief. Is fine. I liked it. Thought it added something to a Saw movie. Like you said, Joel, the theme at the end, once you could kind of like hear it slightly coming, I was like, oh man, we're getting to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
that's when it starts going.
Exactly.
So it like took me back to seeing those other movies. So it was cool.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I wasn't even expecting to hear that song in this movie because it's, it is a spin-off of Saw. Like, you don't even have Jigsaw in it at all.
Right.
You have pictures of John, but that's it. That's, you don't hear his voice or anything.
Yeah.
In this entire movie.
I was thinking, like, if it were to play, it would be like a new version or something, Like some like remix or something. I don't know.
Updated.
But it was the exact same song, so
it was
cool.
Yeah.
I liked the replacement puppet. I liked that there was still a puppet, and this puppet had
the pig.
Yeah, because this one had more meaning. This one made sense more than Billy the puppet did.
Yeah.
So, I did like that.
The first time in all of these Saw movies where that pig mask actually makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There was that too.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
Yeah. And Yeah, so overall, I like the movie. Let's talk about some negatives. I guess Joey's got quite a few.
Joey and Katrina apparently.
I do have a few.
I don't think Katrina has that many, but we'll
have
see.
been biting their tongues here.
Yeah. The problem is I don't have negatives as much as I have the stuff I like is I feel like I need to save for the spoiler parts.
Oh, gotcha.
So
okay.
I just get nervous about what I can say and what I can't. Don't make any listeners.
I think as long as you don't give away the twist at the end, I think anything else, like, there's really not a whole lot of spoilers unless you go into great detail on the traps.
I guess.
Just don't give away the twist.
I don't like to know anything about a movie before I go into it, so I don't like when people talk a lot about details.
Oh, okay.
Well,
they are listening to a review, so
that's true.
There's going to be.
I guess that's their bad. Okay, so my negatives would be, I felt like the kills. I liked the last one more. But the first ones, I felt like I was like, it didn't feel like there was any way for them to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's always something that John Kramer always did. But I didn't think of it as a spin-off of Saw.
Yeah.
Rather than...
Well, they
can for most of them. There's one in particular that I'm like, okay, this guy's trying to live.
Yeah.
But there's no way he's going to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the other ones,
there was supposed to be a way.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like a realistic way of actually.
Yeah, it wasn't super realistic.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there was really a legit chance for them to get out of it.
Right.
So something that bugged me was I liked the beginning scene with like the dialogue. I thought that was really fun and a fun way to start it. And then it was like, it didn't fit with the whole rest of the movie. Like, why did they have him go through this heist? I kept thinking in the movie.
It was totally misplaced.
He was undercover.
Yeah. Well, but they didn't even know he was undercover. And so then I'm like, it made you confused about his role.
His character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be this right player.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah. And then the opening scene shows him going rogue, kind of. And so I didn't feel like it fit with the rest of the movie and his character, building his character. So that threw me off, and it bugged me the whole rest of the movie.
That part was a little bit out of place and misleading, I guess. Because even in the previews, like you know this guy, the police department's corrupt, even from the previews, and he's like the good cop trying to figure everything out. Because in some of the recordings, I think the voice says something like, "Do you know what your department's done?" or something like that. And then, of course, we get flashbacks of everything going on too, which I'm sure will be talked about. But yeah, so that part was a little misplaced as well. Yeah, I think it's just showing that cops, when put in positions like this, they can let the undercover kind of get to them, and I think it was kind of showcasing the corruption of the police department. If you're undercover long enough, you start to feel like you're one of those guys, one of the quote unquote bad guys that you're trying to take down. But yeah, for him to do it it felt a little out of place.
Yeah, sure. My interpretation of it was like to get you in, to grab you in, and just have a fun scene to start the movie off with. And I felt like we didn't need that. Like we're coming to watch a Saw movie with Chris Rock in it. Like I think that we're already hyped and excited. We don't need you to pull us.
We don't need to be hyped
with
more.
That.
Yeah, we're coming in to see Saw 9. I think we're good.
Well, yeah, and we're not like coming to see, I don't know, Ocean's 11 or something.
Yeah.
So I just felt like that was totally out of place, and it was not necessary.
Yeah.
Although the dialogue at the beginning, they had to add that in somewhere. So
yeah,
that was good dialogue. I feel like it was like Chris Rock just doing like stand up, like stuff that he's been wanting to say in stand up and hasn't had a chance because he hasn't been able to do shows or something.
Yeah. He's been deprived, so let's put it in my movie.
Yeah. I think that's like my biggest negative. I don't have that much negative of the movie. My negative is how the previews, like you said, how the previews showed Samuel L. Jackson, and I feel like it made me like question everything that was going on in the movie, and I wish I wouldn't have ever seen that and just been able to watch it without this thought in the back of my head.
Right.
He was only in maybe 10 minutes of the entire movie. Like they could have not had him in the trailers.
Yeah.
And nothing would have changed.
Right. Yeah, it would have just been cool to see him because he's in the movie throughout in like flashbacks or current scenes, but they're very short. So yeah, it could have been just a surprise. But yeah, you're talking about certain parts of the trailer made it look a certain way, like made Samuel Jackson's character look a certain way.
Yeah.
So then you're like thinking about it throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited to hear all Joey's.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I have a few.
All right, Joe.
All right.
I do too. Don't worry about it.
I have a handful. So Chris Rock, I think he did a solid job. I do like the humor, but I just don't really like his facial expressions.
his bulging eyes.
They just seem like he was trying to play a character. Like I saw Chris Rock playing, and I really like Chris Rock. I think he's really funny. But every time like he was making those facial expressions, I'm like, it looks so corny, and, like so forced. Like I'm like it just like no. But I think he did a solid job for what it was, so I guess that's like kind of like a neutral thing. I like the comedy, but yeah, it just seemed kind of forced.
Okay. I feel like he was doing that on purpose because in a lot of Sam Jackson movies, his eyes do bulge when he's really mad, and he's supposed to be his son. So I think that was probably something he was intentionally doing to, make him look more like Sam Jackson's son.
Who knows? He might do this regularly, but because of how big that screen was, you never really realize how.
Yeah, true.
How bulgy his eyes were.
When was the last time you watched a intense Chris Rock scene on the big screen?
It's been a little while. And then that brings me into like the dialogue. I thought the dialogue was really awkward, like especially between like the police force and stuff. It seemed like they were trying to be like Law and Order kind of, like a Law and Order episode where it's kind of like they're using like the police like jargon and stuff, and like it just seemed kind of, I don't know, it seemed kind of corny a little bit, and it didn't really bring too much to the movie. I felt like, because I was like, this is like kind of. I don't know. It just kind of felt the dialogue just kind of felt it didn't get me excited. You know what I mean? It didn't get me there's no suspense to it, I guess you could say.
Are you meaning like the dialogue with the other cops?
Yeah, with the other cops and like the captain and stuff. And
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really like the dialogue too much. I did like the dialogue. The best dialogue was between him and his partner, like walking in the subway. I thought that was really funny. I thought that was appropriately placed. But then it became just kind of, I don't know. I didn't like it. I can't really put my finger on it. It just kind of felt like a TV show kind of. that brings me to like, I felt like there was like a weird pace to it. It was starting to be kind of predictable. You knew that, I guess not getting into spoilers and stuff, but you felt like you knew that another person from the force was going to be picked off, and they're going to bring you to the end of the trap. Like it kind of felt like so methodical and like so predictable. There wasn't that many twists and turns to it, which I didn't really like because it's like I want to be like, I feel like Saw is like a ride, and I felt like I knew where the ride was going. I was just kind of waiting for the end to see the big reveal, which was good. It was really good. But yeah, a little predictable. And then it was like, I mean, I like the gore, but it was a little too much. I feel like it was a little too much for me, and I like the gore of the previous films, but I thought it was a little overboard, a little bit. And then,
well, that's I mean, as far as that goes, that's what a lot of people are going to the to like, to especially this deep into the Saw franchise,
right?
That's one thing
and
that people are going to see.
Yeah. It just and I appreciate that. It just wasn't like, it was a little like, to me it was like a little beyond, like especially like the finger traps and stuff. I was like, man. And it kind of just felt like it was kind of long and stuff. I was like, man, this is like excruciating, like just to watch. And so I'm like, God dang. And there's been a couple movies where it's like that too, where you're like, oh my gosh.
See, I feel like this is one of the tamer ones.
Really?
Oh, wow. I felt like
there's been movies where characters like limbs were like getting like actually, pulled off. I mean, there's that finger trap thing, but we'll talk about those in our
for sure
spoiler section for sure. But it's
Joey, I'm wondering, maybe we're getting old and we can't handle the score like we used to.
That might be it. Maybe I just have like a weak stomach now. Maybe I don't know.
My stomach was definitely turning.
I was kind of like looking off screen a little bit, kind of like a little.
I mean, I was definitely cringing during some of those kills.
Man, it was intense. And I felt like there was, not going into the spoilers and stuff, but I felt like there was like, it was like a weird build up to the ending. Without getting into spoilers, like Chris Rock walks into that room and then he sees the bad guy and stuff. But it just felt like, I guess they're in the room together already. I guess this is the end. It just felt like there was no like kind of build up to it. I was like, that was kind of weird. He just walked in. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing there. I mean, there was something before. There was a trap before, but I felt like there wasn't like I don't know. Maybe it caught me off guard a little bit, where I was like, oh, and there they are, I guess, together.
Well, he had an idea of who it was because he called the chief and left a message saying that he has an idea of who's behind it all. So when he saw who it was, he didn't seem too shocked that it was him. Because he somehow already figured it out. And
how would he?
They showed.
How do you know?
I don't know because they showed flashbacks of like this person talking to him as if that's supposed to trigger something in him. Like, that's who it is. I was like, okay. The flashbacks, it's a
little bit of a stretch.
don't make sense right now.
I was thinking the flashbacks were him like getting like so upset that this is happening because he was really connected with this person and he felt like it was his responsibility that that happened to that person because it was showing that everyone was connected to him. Everyone closely connected with him in the Force were the ones that were being picked off. Yeah. And so I felt like that was the purpose of the flashbacks, was showing that he was like getting so upset. Like, I need to figure out who's doing this because this is about me. This is a direct, attack on me and everyone that is connected to me.
But they showed flashbacks like just like normal conversation going on. like what they do in you know, when they're about to reveal the twist.
Yeah.
How they'll show flashbacks of, oh, you should have been paying attention to what this person said, because that's, you know, it's leading up to the twist in the movie. And I felt like that's what they were trying to do with that. But the flashbacks just didn't match up to what was actually going on in those flashbacks as far as revealing the twist. So I was a little I'm still not entirely sure how he knew exactly, but he didn't look surprised to see him there.
Yeah, and that was weird. That was kind of, I don't know, that whole scene was a little weird to me, a little bit. Like, at least the start of it. I think the end of it, like when he starts talking and stuff, you know, the bad person and stuff, I thought that was good. I thought that was like the most solid dialogue of the whole movie, probably. I just have a few more. I wanted like I wanted like more of a deeper meaning. And, you know, I understand like this was like filmed like before the pandemic and stuff, and before everything like last year and stuff with like the cops and everything. So I'm not going to say that they're like trying to like capitalize off of, you know, storylines or stuff like that and stuff, because it was already probably done. But I just wanted, you know, like a deeper meaning, like a jigsaw like kind of feel to it and stuff, where you have like at least a little bit deeper of a meaning. I understand the meaning behind it, and I like the ending and stuff, but the whole police corruption stuff, it just felt kind of, I don't know, it just felt kind of like too easy. Like okay, police corruption, that's like an easy like topic to cover and stuff. So I just didn't really like love that. I like the bad guy, like his reasoning behind it and stuff. I just didn't like the bigger idea, the bigger of, like, picture, corruption stuff. I thought it was like, oh, okay, that's cool, but it's not really. It doesn't like hit you hard. And it's kind of I feel like it's kind of like played out and stuff. But anyway,
so
and then go ahead.
Question about that: if you hadn't seen the trailer and already kind of had that anticipation of that being kind of the main topic of discussion, would it have made a difference?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because you kind of know that going in, and then you're hoping maybe for something more than just that.
Yeah.
But
there was a little bit. I mean, with like the because the bad person is not doing it just, it is like payback and stuff, I guess you could say. So it is a little bit deeper, which I like, and I really like the bad person in it. I thought,
but payback is not the Jigsaw way.
Yeah, it's not the MO. It's not the MO. So, and I understand it's like a new movie, and I appreciate that too. But yeah, I just wanted like something a little bit deeper. And then my last one, didn't like the pig mask. I thought they were weak. And at least you didn't squeal in the pig mask, like they did in multiple Saw movies. Maybe that wasn't a squeal. I don't think
that was more like a meow than anything.
And then I know this is going to be your guys' negatives too, but I strongly disliked the audio tapes, the voice.
Yeah,
I thought it was so bad, but
I thought it was misleading. So it's not a positive or a negative for me, because on the audio tapes it sounds like a woman's voice. So going into the movie, I thought, because there's only 2 females in the entire movie, so I was like, if it's a woman, then this is going to be easy to figure out. So I liked how it, when the twist happened. What happened there with that, at least. So I'm going to talk more about the twist in and of itself. But as far as that goes, like I was expecting maybe like a woman to be behind it, which is fine. I don't mind a woman killer.
So wait. Joel, are you saying that it was a woman or it wasn't a woman?
The voice?
I'm not going to say anything until the spoiler section.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Oh, man. But yeah, dude, the voice sucked. Whether it's more male or female, it sucks. Dude, I want Jigsaw's voice. I don't care if he's not in the movie anymore. I want to hear Jigsaw. I want to play a game. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear like some like computer nerd saying, "I want to play a game." No, yeah. I don't want that.
No, you sounded
that's not
like it.
That's not scary.
I want to play a game.
I want to play a game. Like it's like the freaking like gingerbread man or something. You know? Gosh, come on, people. Okay, all right. So I'm officially done with negatives until I think of some more.
Okay. All right. Joel.
All right. So for me, I also have a few as well, a small handful of them. But one of them actually was the twist itself. I saw it coming a mile away.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. And there was a certain scene that we will talk about here in a little bit that when the scene happened, I was like, okay, I know who the killer is.
Okay.
And so when the reveal happened, I was like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, of course it was that person. So it's like the twist didn't catch me off guard. I go into these movies, I know there's going to be a twist, but I try not to even figure out what the twist is because I like to be surprised.
Yeah.
But even not thinking about what the twist was, I was like, okay, well, that's the twist. And we'll discuss that in a little bit here. But so that part I didn't like. I liked the motivation behind it, but I didn't like the reveal in and of itself. I also the flashbacks, and this isn't just a dig at this movie, it's a dig at a lot of movies that go back, a certain number of years in flashbacks, and the flashbacks felt no, I mean, well, kind of, except they had facial hair.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Facial hair.
It's like the ones. If you're going back, I mean, it was only 12 years that they went back. It's not like but it felt like it was like the 70s.
Yeah.
That's how bad their facial hair was. And it's like, that's what usually happens in those to kind of, show
throw a mustache on somebody.
They will either put a mustache on someone that doesn't have a mustache in the present time, or they'll take a mustache off a person that has a mustache in present time. Yeah. And apparently facial hair is how you determine how long time's passed.
Oh, man.
And it was only 12 years. Like, it's not that long of time. And I didn't buy the hate towards Chris Rock, and I didn't buy the hate Chris Rock had towards the police department. Because, so the police department is mad because he took down a corrupt cop 12 years ago. And that's what the flashbacks are going back and forth telling us. And so the cops are still mad at him 12 years later after taking one cop down. Mm-hmm. And he hates the force, the police department he works for because of the corruption of one cop 12 years ago. It's like he's saying that he can't trust anybody on the force. Yeah, there's more people involved in the corruption, but he doesn't know that at that point. Like, I just didn't buy that he can't trust anybody on the force because of one corrupt cop 12 years ago. Yeah. And after all this time, the police department... What?
He also was shot by one of them. And
they wouldn't back him up.
And they wouldn't back him up. And there was things throughout the movie that they were doing. Maybe he didn't directly see their conversations or whatever, but I'm thinking he had like a vibe. Like he could tell he was kind of the black sheep of the force. That's kind of the sense I got from it.
Yeah, he definitely was shot by one of them. And, also the hate that they had toward him over taking down one of the cops, like after 12 years, I mean, it's time to let some stuff go. So I didn't like that back and forth between everyone and him. Also, the dialogue, it definitely felt Saw 6, Saw 7 like. It wasn't, the writing was not that good in this movie. They didn't, it's the same writers as Jigsaw. So, Jigsaw didn't have the best writing either. Yeah. And Jigsaw had a better twist reveal, but in my opinion. But the writing itself was not good. All of, like, when Chris Rock wasn't cracking jokes, he was like yelling like the entire movie, which after a while got a little bit old. Like, he was just constantly yelling at somebody. And it's like, okay, there's other ways you can relieve that stress besides just screaming at everybody, making your eyes bulge out to your head. And I had another one too. There was a flashback of him where the flashback kept going on after he left the room. It's like, I don't think that's how flashbacks work. Isn't it from your memory? Like, how do you know what these two people are talking about, like, during this flashback when you leave the room? And it's still going on. The dialogue's still going on. It's like, okay, this part doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And the acting for the most part was not very good. So they released the opening, what was it, 3.5 minutes of the movie?
Yeah.
Online, and I did watch it ahead of time, and it got me a little worried about the movie because it showed the detective, the cop in the subway station.
The tunnel. Yeah.
And the tunnel, subway, the tunnel. And the acting was horrible on his part. It was bad. And that's what you decided to release. Like, right. Okay. It did show the first kill of the movie, which was pretty cool, but it also showed the acting. And it's like, this is what you're going to showcase for us before we watch the movie? That doesn't give me much hope as far as the acting goes of this movie. And, besides a couple of characters, couple actors, the acting was not very good. So, and that could have been the bad writing as well. I don't know. But, because that does have a lot to do with it a lot of the time. But, yeah. So, I think that's it. Okay. For me.
It's a pretty good amount.
You guys are really beating this movie up.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't have as high of expectations. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because the acting, wasn't good, but I wouldn't say it was like bad. I would say it was probably better than most of the Saw movies. At least in my opinion, it was. I
don't mention the acting in most of the movies, Saw movies, because I don't expect good acting.
Yeah.
But you've got a movie that Chris Rock actually came up with, the storyline. Yeah. You have production money behind this. You have some like A-list actors in this movie. I expected a little bit more as far as the acting goes from this one than I did with previous movies.
Okay. See, it's a horror movie, so I feel like the expectation is not good acting.
but it's like to me, it's more like a suspense kind of. It's not really a horror movie, or at least that's not what they're aiming for. I feel like it's more of like aimed at like a suspense kind of thriller, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Seven vibes. Maybe that's like sacrilegious to say that on this podcast. Maybe.
Wow.
I haven't seen Seven before.
It actually is.
I know. I need to see it. Yeah. But please don't kick me off the podcast right now.
Well, we're almost
and eat Jack.
Oh man, right. Too late for that.
Okay, so I just have a couple of negatives. Joey, you talked about the pacing and the ending pacing. Yeah. I agree that when he walked into that room and saw who the killer was, it was like kind of abrupt. It wasn't like there wasn't much of a build up between the last trap and then him walking into that room, there could have been some downtime. I feel like the movie could have been longer. I feel like a lot of it was they're trying to be like super fast paced with everything, which is cool, but I think you need some build up too.
Yeah.
And so it did seem pretty short, especially once the killer was revealed. So the pacing I can kind of see a little bit of an issue with.
Cut out some of the flashback scenes and add some more to it. Like there was a flashback scene where the captain's talking about the heat wave. It's like, do we need this part in this movie?
Yeah.
But
I wondered when that was going to make sense, why they were so focused on the heat wave.
Yeah.
Why they were so focused on the temperature.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to have something to do
I
with
thought,
like the twist or something.
I thought something, maybe one of the traps was going to be utilizing heat or something. I don't know. I thought something was going to relate to that, but
nothing. Yeah.
So the pacing I had a little bit of an issue with. Could have been better, and I did really want more of a connection to John. I didn't want it to be like a relative or something because that's too easy. But I wanted something. He was mentioned maybe a couple times, but
They showed one picture.
Yeah, and then there was one picture. But there wasn't anything more. So, I guess that's kind of a spoiler. If you're going to watch the movie and hoping for that, don't get your hopes up. So,
Jigsaw's not in this movie.
Yeah. Those are really my only two negatives, though. I enjoyed it. So, okay. So let's rate it, and then we can have a discussion about some of the parts. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like Joey and Joel, you're gonna have lower ratings. Let's start low and then go high. I'm gonna try to predict this. Okay. All right, Joey, what's your rating?
So I'm gonna go with 74%.
Okay. All right.
I think average. I actually did enjoy it. I think my expectations were maybe a little too high. The ending boosted it up a little bit, or maybe actually maintained it, I guess. But solid. I mean, it's solid. I don't know if I'll watch it again. I wouldn't characterize it as a bad movie. I like the premise of Saw in general. So, yeah, 74.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Joel, what do you got?
That's a lot. I was going to go with 73. So that's I probably have the lowest score in this of the four of us for this movie.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm going 82.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked a couple of the other Saw movies more, but for a Saw movie, whether it's a spin-off or whatever it is, it was good. I enjoyed it. All right, Katrina, what do you have?
So I was thinking 80.
Oh, okay. I was a little off with my predictions.
Yeah. I'm okay with putting mine up to 83. I mean, if you need me to keep your prediction better.
Yeah, make me look good.
But of all the Saw movies, this is one I would watch again if I was going to watch a Saw movie again ever in my life.
Okay.
Yeah,
there was a little more for. I think this one had a little more for everybody.
Yeah,
with the humor, having Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson in it, some familiar faces. I think it. We saw it with my son as well, and he really liked it, and he had never seen a Saw movie in theaters. I don't know if he's seen any of the movies really. I mean, not with me, he hasn't. So
yeah.
But he liked.
Yeah, and
it,
that's another thing that's cool about this. It is separate from the other ones, so you don't have to know what's going on with the other 8 movies to be able to follow this one. It's a completely different story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do appreciate that.
He did keep saying like, "Oh my gosh, the movie's almost over. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be the person."
He guessed everybody, so he's always right about
he probably didn't know that there was like this twist ending all the time, something like that, or this mystery.
Yeah, well, and so when he was going into that room, he was like, "Okay, the movie's almost over." Like he was looking up the time.
Oh, really?
And like, we only have this many minutes of the movie. This is going to be the killer. I'm like, okay, let's see who it is.
It was fun. It was a fun time. But yeah, like I said, I think it has a little bit for everybody more than all the other movies did. So, okay, so 80.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with 80.
All right, so you got 80, I got 82, Joel with a 73, and Joey with a 74.
Yeah.
And with that score, it's still better than a few of the Saw movies, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah,
it's
definitely. Yeah.
This franchise has been hit or miss throughout the entire franchise. So
it's like so bad. Like horror franchises all are pretty much hit or miss, except for maybe Scream. I would say is probably the best.
Give it 4 more movies, and we'll.
But it's like still fun. I don't. I like watching even the bad Saw movies. Like it's still fun. Yeah. So it's weird. Okay, let's do some spoilers. Yeah. Okay.
I'm down.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That was intense.
You got Batman on this podcast.
Okay, so Joel, we're officially doing spoilers.
Yeah.
Joel, what scene was it that had you predict?
Oh, I can guess which one.
Okay, Katrina, what scene do you think it was?
Okay, my guess is the flashback of when the dad was killed.
Oh,
okay.
And it showed the kid.
Did
and
it show
I'm
the kid?
Yeah.
Did it? Oh, I
don't think it showed the kid until the reveal.
I think
they went back to the flashback.
I think it did.
Because it didn't show Chris
or
Rock.
it said like he had a family.
Yeah, they did say that.
Maybe that's what it was. Is it said he had a family and everything. And I wondered, is that the part that you figured it out, Joel?
So the part that no, it wasn't.
Okay.
And that's another negative that I had too. Because like after the reveal of that scene, it shows Chris Rock like shushing the boy. Yeah. Like don't tell anybody about this.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that include him in the cover up in his eyes? Like
No, I think he was shushing him to tell him like, shh, don't tell him that I saw you.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Like
it
don't scream. Don't scream or anything because then something's going to happen to you. Like the cop's going to kill you too or something. Like don't let them know that they just saw that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that you just saw that.
Okay. I interpreted it the other way. I was like, okay, well that would have put him in a bad spot with this kid too. But yeah, that makes sense too. So the scene was when they get a call at they go to like the restaurant butcher, and they actually see they see a skinned body up there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it shows the tattoo that the partner has on his arm.
Yeah.
It was at that moment that I was like, okay, this guy has to be the twist because they don't show his face, and in all of the other Saw traps, they actually show it happen, and they never showed what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they just showed a skinned body that we're supposed to believe was the partner. And it's like, that goes against the whole rest of the movie at this point.
Yeah.
Because they showed everybody die.
Yeah. D'Anthony actually questioned that. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if he was questioning that particularly, but that's when we talked about how oh, they're rushing this movie along.
Right.
Because there's not very much time left.
Right.
So that's what alerted us to, oh, there's not much time left. They have to hurry up.
Yeah.
So they weren't able to show.
Yeah. That scene, that whole development with him supposedly dying was off to me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put it together that he was the killer. But like you, Joel, I'm not like trying to figure it out.
I'm just trying to have a fun time.
Yeah. I didn't put it together, but during that scene, I was like, because they played his tape. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what does his tape say? Because he shouldn't be a part of this whole revenge thing because he's new.
Yeah.
So what does his tape say? You know? And they were playing it.
Yeah, it was all about corruption.
Yeah. But they played it, and then Chris Rock was like, screaming or whatever he was doing. And but then it just said, like, I want to play a game. And then it didn't really say what was on his tape. So
yeah,
I was like, what did this guy do? Like, he didn't deserve this,
Yeah, exactly.
And he was such a big character so far within the movie, and I'm like, would they just kill him off? Like,
like a third of the way in.
Yeah, it felt it just felt weird, but it didn't alert me to him being the killer.
Yeah.
I just thought, okay, well, that's crappy.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah. It made me think that they were just really trying to get under Chris Rock's skin.
Yeah.
It made me think like, oh, okay, so they're not just going after cops that have done things.
Right.
They're just going after cops that are close to Chris Rock.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I like how we don't know Chris Rock's name. Like, or I don't.
Yeah.
He was Zeke.
I don't remember what it was.
Zeke Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Detective Zeke Banks.
Yes. That did like really grab him, which really made it a lot more personal, I think, for him because he felt, responsible.
Yeah.
And so I think that did save that part for me because I was like, oh, okay, this is really hitting home for him now. I
think having Samuel Jackson's character strung up like that would have been a better way of doing it because there is a scene at the end of this movie that actually is a bigger surprise to me than the actual twist was. That Samuel Jackson's character was involved in the corruptions from 12 years ago. That was a bigger shock than the actual twist.
Oh, I was not shocked.
I wasn't shocked by that.
I wasn't shocked either. Yeah.
That shows how little shocked I was at the twist in this movie.
Yeah.
And having his character, having the tape play for his character at that scene where you're supposed to think that his partner is the one dead would have been a better twist reveal at the end of it because I wouldn't have been expecting the partner at that point. Like, I wouldn't have been really expecting anybody. I didn't, like I was saying, I don't really go into these movies trying to figure out what the twist is.
Yeah.
But it was just the partner being strung up like that was just like, okay, this goes against everything that the movie has been doing for us so far.
Yeah.
That having the dad be the one, because he was involved in the corruption, that would have played more into the movie itself than the partner getting killed like that. So yeah, it just I wasn't a fan of of the twist because that was about an hour into the movie, I think. I was like, okay, I know who the killer is at this point.
Yeah.
I do like the motivation of it though. I do like when they actually reveal it and he goes bad, the flashback and everything, the corruption of the police department.
Yeah.
I do like that part of it, but the twist reveal was pretty weak in my opinion for a Saw movie. Like, there's been a couple of them throughout the years that have been pretty weak as well, but this one was definitely up there for me.
Okay. The very, very end when the killer shushes Chris Rock's character as he's going down the elevator. That was cool.
Yeah, that was my number one positive.
Oh yeah.
That really capped it off. I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those goosebump moments, kind of.
Yeah.
That scene though kind of threw me off as well because it's like he was screaming as if he's about to be trapped in that room forever.
Yeah,
like it's just like, oh well, go down the elevator and catch him. Like it's, it was one of those. Yeah, it was one of those game over moments in the other Saw movies. And it's like,
well, he just lost his dad.
Yeah, his dad.
I know that, but the way that he was like looking at him and as he's going down, like, I got away with it. No, you didn't. I can just go down and catch you.
Did anyone think when he got the handcuffs on and stuff, and he was like, on the pipe or with the pipe and stuff, and then he had the saw.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did anyone think that was so stupid?
That was a negative for me.
Dumb.
That was a negative for me.
It was so funny. I thought it was funny that they added in from the very first movie.
Yeah.
Like
it just made me feel like
they
watching
literally
a movie. Like it became like almost like a parody almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They literally threw that scene in for the trailer. That's it.
Right.
To make us think that he's going to be involved in one of these traps.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, there's a bobby pin right here. I'm just going to unhandcuff myself.
Yeah.
That was strictly for the trailer.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
It was pretty dumb though to even throw that in there. Yeah, I agree. When I saw that in the trailer, I was like, "Oh wow, they're gonna have him in the trap," and he's
they got Chris Rock and Sam Jackson in these traps. That's what the trailers made it look like.
His hand off or something. And that lasted for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of Sam Jackson's trap, I thought that was pretty dumb too. Draining the blood out of his body.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dude,
but I loved how they connected.
But there was more to
puppets.
it than that.
Like they connected it to that puppet that was always hanging there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was hanging the same way that the pig puppet was hanging.
Puppet,
and so then when his arm lifted, just like that puppet did in the third kill or second kill, the one with the truck, outside of the truck.
And the lights made it so the cops couldn't really see who it was that was strung up there, but they could just see that he was raising a gun at them. So they just fired at him and killed him. And right before that, the killer's like, well, I'm tired of police, shooting first and asking questions later. And, so he knew that that's what they were going to do right away. So, he kind of proved his point there. Not that I don't think the police should have shot him because, what else are they going to do? But, but he was kind of
at that point, there was a gun pointed at him. So
kind of, proving his point. So, I like that. I like the connection with the puppet, like you were saying.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Right when I saw him hanging there, I'm like, oh, he's the puppet.
Man, I wonder what the twist will be in the next one because both the good guy and the bad guy are both alive in this movie.
Right.
So it's like, they're going to continue this.
Right.
Plus, they already have a Saw 10 in development right now. So. Yep. I wonder if Chris Rock's even going to be involved in this or if it was just a passion project for him.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'm done.
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel. I hope he's in it.
I do too.
I know.
Yeah, I do too.
Doesn't like his face, so
I don't like his. I don't like it. No, I like his face. I don't like his expression. I just thought they were forced. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
in the yelling and stuff. I'm like, come on, just have a little bit more fluidity to your character.
It's partly because he's Chris Rock. I think.
Yeah, I was like, it was a Chris Rock. Part
face. It's Chris Rock's face, literally.
All right, you guys got any other specifics to talk about?
So the second trap,
oh yeah,
the Chinese finger trap,
yeah,
death scene. What was that supposed to do? I mean, like I was saying before, some of these traps are almost impossible to get out of, but there were some that you could have lived. But the way that it was pulling his fingers apart,
yeah,
it was doing it slowly. So it's like there's no way he would have been able to really,
get out,
lived in that particular situation. And it's like, okay, it looked like he was trying. He was really trying to survive in this one.
Yeah.
But then he got electrocuted like the very end of it. And it's like, okay, well, he attempted. He tried to. And this was right after the first death, which he could have lived. It would have hurt, live without a tongue. But he had time.
Yeah.
If he had just jumped off and he did right before he got hit. So it's like, at that point, don't even bother. You're going to die anyway. But, so it just seemed like there were traps that you could have lived and some that you really couldn't have. Yeah. And I was, at least with some of the other, Saw movies, if there were traps that you couldn't live through, you couldn't live through any of them. Like there weren't any of them that were like, okay, you could have lived through this one. No, you were going to die. Yeah. But with this one, it was kind of a mix. So I wonder if that was intentional or if it was a mistake that they just threw in there, because it seemed like it was a pretty good mix of ones you could live and ones that you couldn't live through.
Well, especially
I feel like that. To me, it seemed like there was no intention for him to be able to live through that.
Yeah,
like
yeah, because he had to like bite down on something, and then his fingers would slowly come off. But he was biting down on it like the whole time.
Well, he let go and screamed for a second.
Yeah, he did let go for a second, but I don't know if that would have even mattered. I
think that was what made the difference. Was if you have any agony over this, you're going to die because you're not going to have enough time. Yeah. There was only enough time if he had made the decision right away and kept down on it the entire time.
Yeah. So basically all or nothing.
And it's like, of course there's going to be agony. Of course you're going to scream. Your fingers are getting pulled off. Like that's
so that's why I think there was no intention of him ever being able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the motivation for this was all revenge. So it wasn't like with Jigsaw where he's actually trying. Well, he's supposed to be trying to help the people.
Yeah, good old Jigsaw.
His motivation was way different from this guy.
It was,
So
well, he was trying. It's not like he was taking out people that didn't really deserve. He was taking out the corrupt cops in the department. He wasn't targeting like the good cops at all. Yeah. Which I feel like in some of the Saw movies, there was actually some decent people that ended up dying in those.
Right.
That didn't really have a choice. So overall, throughout the series, most of them, were bad in some way or another. But with this, it was definitely all corrupt cops, which I did like. It. I understood where he was coming from. I don't like how in 12 years he joined the police department. He apparently became an engineering all of these traps. And I was just like, okay, well, I don't really buy that. Plus, he became a tattoo artist as well, tattooing Charlie on. And a serial killer.
I probably could have done that tattoo,
but it was like identical to his tattoo, which is what threw everyone off. Thinking that
I was thinking that he got his tattoo after seeing this guy.
Oh no, I don't think so.
That makes more sense that he tattooed it onto his arm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so something I just thought of, meth guy, the meth head guy, he, in the beginning steals that purse or whatever and gets chased down into the tunnel. Was he told to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, he was told to get the purse and run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably,
yeah. He was hired by the other guy because he needed his, he was kidnapped by him.
Okay. He needed him to be away from everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if they actually said that he was the one that had him steal that, and so that the cop would chase him down.
Because that was how it led the other guy to where he lived.
Right.
And so he needed, because that's how he was able to then trap the other guy.
Right. But yeah, I just didn't know if they actually said that, that he stole that in order for the cop to chase him. Because that's where he then gets trapped, is in the tunnel. So I'm like, how did the killer know that he was going to go down there? If he didn't,
Yeah, it was definitely, it was probably planned the entire time. My question about that whole situation was, how did he wake up just in time for the train to... he woke up 2 minutes before the train was going to be coming, which is I guess perfect time for him to get out of this trap.
Yeah. Well, that's how
did he just happen to wake up at that particular time? Did he get woken up by
there was an alarm
by him?
It's probably not a very busy train station. He had a lot of time to rig him up there and stuff.
Take a nap.
But he wakes up 2 minutes before the train. What if he didn't wake up at all? He just would have been hit by the train.
That would have been funny.
Would it be in a Saw spoof movie or something where they don't wake up in time and end up dying?
Okay, I think we've talked enough about this movie. Yeah, I guess that's it. Joey, we will have you on for our ranking episode.
Yes,
that one will be coming soon.
Sounds good.
Yes,
and Katrina, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And we will look forward to Saw X.
It marks
coming next year.
Okay, I guess that's it. This has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Charlie fight.
Oh man.